Hey there, I'm Celebrity, and you're watching a video tutorial on how to make this two-piece outfit. This video is in collaboration with Enjoy, who has lots of really cool clothing DIYs. Here's a preview of her collaboration video. Cool, right? The link to her channel will be in the description box below. Please go check out her channel, give some likes, leave some nice comments, and subscribe. Thanks so much. Alrighty, on with the tropical two-piece outfit tutorial. The first thing I did was grab some flowy shorts to emulate and some paper. I drew an outline of the shorts shape, but I decided that that didn't work as well as just measuring out the different sections of the shorts. So everywhere that you see is sewn, those are the pieces that you need to measure out. And then once you have all the measurements, I drew them out on a piece of paper and then cut it out. Shorts are basically comprised of 5 different pieces: the 2 front pieces, the 2 back pieces, and then the waistband. So after you've measured out your shorts and drew templates for the front, the back, and the waistband, cut them out and then place them on top of your fabric. My fabric is actually a very large Hawaiian dress that I got at a thrift store. So I placed my template on the fabric and traced it out. Then I cut out that fabric. And because my fabric is actually a dress, I cut it out on the side. That way one side is actually already sewn together. But if you're just using regular fabric, make sure that you fold it before you cut it out, or you can make 2 separate pieces and then sew one whole side. Next, you're going to sew the part that stuck out a little bit, which is going to be the crotch part, and you're going to sew it at a certain angle. That way, when you flip it over, it's going to be taken in and it's not going to be sticking out. I know it's kind of hard to explain, so let me try and show you. I forgot to say earlier that when you're sewing, make sure that your fabric is inside out. And right now I just put it right side in, and as you can tell, there is an angle to it, so make sure that when you sew it, when it's inside out, remember, that you sew it at an angle. That way the crotch area and the rest of the shorts are different. So now what you're going to do is make the other one. So cut out your fabric by either folding your fabric and making one cut, or making 2 separate cuts and then sewing them together. Then you're going to indicate where the crotch is going to be, and you're going to sew it at an angle, of course inside out. I keep forgetting to say that. Make sure that whenever you're sewing, your fabric is inside out. And you should have this so far. You should have 2 pieces of shorts sewn here and in here. Now you're going to sew the middle, which you need to be very careful with that because sometimes it can get confusing. So grab the front side on the left and the front side on the right, then sew them together, but not before flipping it inside out. Now I don't have a sewing machine, so I had to continuously hold the 2 sides together and try to hand sew as evenly as possible. So I tried to sew as straight as I can, all the way from the crotch all the way to about 1.5 inches away from the top of the shorts. And then I went to the back side and did the exact same thing. This is the back side. I just lined it up and I'm just going to sew it again. And once I'm done sewing the 2 middle portions from the crotch to 1.5 inches away from the top, then I'm going to be done with everything but the waistband. I'm just going to show you really fast. Once I flip it right side in, the first thing that you sew is the crotch area at an angle. Then you're going to sew the front and the back, and then you're going to add a waistband, but instead of adding a waistband separately, what I decided to do was leave some space at the top, about 1.5 inches, and instead of using elastic, because I didn't have any, I just made my own rope out of extra fabric. Then I laid my rope within that 1.5 inches that I left, and if you're wondering what 1.5 inches are you talking about, when I was sewing the middle part, instead of sewing all the way to the top, I left 1.5 inches worth of space. Then I laid my rope down and wrapped that extra fabric over it. Then I just sewed it shut, making sure that I didn't accidentally sew the drawstring, because then I wouldn't be able to pull it or loosen it or tighten it. So when you're sewing this part, make sure that you're not accidentally sewing in the string. And after I was finished sewing that part, I just scrunched it up a bit and pulled the drawstrings so that they were sticking out and I could make a knot and just tie them off. So yeah, 3 hours later, I have a pair of shorts out of an old Hawaiian dress. I totally just made everything up as I went along. If I had a sewing machine, it probably would have taken me way less time. But this is my first pair of shorts I've ever made, and I had to hand sew it, so you know, I was actually pretty proud of myself. Making the halter top portion of this outfit was so much easier, especially because I was using an old dress for my fabric, so all I had to do really was cut up the top portion of the dress. What I did first was flip it over to the back and then cut straight from the bottom to the top in the middle of the dress. That way my fabric can open up. If you're just using regular fabric, then you can skip that step. And the next thing I did was cut out a big semicircle from where my straps are going to be in the back to where my neckline is going to be, and hopefully that made sense. The portion that I'm cutting right now is going to be the back straps right here, and I did that on both sides. The reason I decided to cut them again was because I want them thinner. You don't want really thick straps because then it's really hard to tie. So after you've cut out your semicircles, it's time to cut out the neck straps. And it was really easy for me again because I used a dress and it already had a sewn in neckline. All I had to do was cut it out. So if you're using regular fabric, you could also just cut out a strip of fabric and then make that your neckline. Or you can use something else as a strap, like elastic or any other sort of string. To make this way easier, all you have to do is cut out this shape. It's kind of like a really short and fat triangle with a slight curve on the top and some straps. And of course, you can go back and hem the edges. That way when you wash it, it doesn't fall apart. Woo! And you have completed your tropical two-piece outfit. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also click that red subscribe button if you have not already, so I can see you next time. Bye!